Curry, but you got a chance to see a lot more of Knight and Quez. What did you see from them?
Sure. Probably the biggest change in player load would have been Jaquez Jackson. The development of a player, a true sophomore that at times had played 10 to 12 to 15 reps in a game. I think his highest max before that had been the Citadel game where he fit that type of style of offense and had a chance to play 40 plays. So now him and Demetrius Knight were upwards of 35, 40 plays, plus they have a heavy role on special teams. So those moments are invaluable, as they are for so many of our young guys. Demetrius and Jaquez being the perfect example of that. Every single rep they take, they're getting better, they're improving, they have a chance to come in on Sunday and learn from their mistakes. Sometimes the lessons are tough, but again, they unbelievable care factor in learning and improving every single game. So Jaquez Jackson, a great example of youth having a chance to play and develop.
Going back and watching the game, it seemed that as the game went on, the pressure that the front seven was able to get on Harris, I guess, extended, and you're able to get more pressure. What was kind of the reasoning behind that? Was it the play call? Was it, I guess, the fact that the front seven was maybe able to? I don't know. What was it?
Sure. It was the play call. That is sarcasm. Losing is not fun, but I still have a sense of humor. In the second half, that's when the game we let go of the rope. That was the analogy we knew. We usually let go of the rope. We're defending too many plays because we're not getting off the field, and the same thing happened in the North Carolina second half. I think in the second half you saw a team with resiliency. You saw a team with a culture strong enough to not quit in really tough circumstances, not letting circumstances dictate their behavior and continue to play well. So we got off the field. We won third downs. We were much better on third downs. It was a huge emphasis. So now our play count, our energy, our effort to the football was at a very high level in the second half. There was some conservatism to Duke in those moments as well, so let's not over exaggerate it. But we defended short series. We got off the field for 3 and outs 3 different times. We won our third down situations. We made them punt, and we were successful on third down. In the second half, there's a 3rd and 6 situation when we're down 17-7. We fall down, we give a catch, then David Curry, to your point, had the targeting penalty. All of a sudden it goes from 3rd and 6 where you're excited and you're feeling good about the series to having a third down conversion, having a 15-yard penalty. Now they're in the red zone. Now it kind of takes your breath out of you a little bit. And we've got to continue to put the ball down, but we were letting go of the rope in those situations. So early success in downs, being fresh, having an opportunity to play so many players played into that. I wish it was the play call. I would call those plays every time. But again, I think it was early success.
You've faced a lot of good running backs this year. This Saturday, you got DJ Dallas, and they seem to like to do a lot of different things with him. How difficult will it be for you guys to defend Dallas?
Sure. They are very multiple. Dan Enos does a phenomenal job with the offense. They're multiple with the personnel groupings. They will use multiple tight ends, multiple receivers, multiple running backs. They will get in and out of it. They will attempt every formation just about possible in football. And then all of that is to try to create confusion for your alignments and your assignments. And then at the end of the day, they have good skill to actually run the football once they finally settle down and get into a formation. So they are not short on skill, and they never really are there. The offensive lineman is improving and getting better. They are similar to us in their youth at offensive line. They've got 2 freshmen that are starting, so you've seen their growth as they play every single game and improving right there. But as far as skill and as far as tackling people in space, Miami continues to be elite out on the perimeter, out on edges, at wide receiver, and then to your point specifically at running back. He also has a different style, as difficult as they are to tackle in space and elusive. He is a downhill runner. He's a low body strength, low center of gravity, strong core, and runs through arm tackles. So we've got to continue to leverage. We've got to continue to finish tackles. Again, although we haven't had success on the scoreboard every week, we continue to be a solid tackling team. I mean, we stress it ad nauseum. We teach off of film when we miss tackles and what's the body positioning is, what was the technique failure of it. I think we were at 7 this week, so that has not been the issue as to why we haven't had success at times. We've got to make sure that continues to be the case versus an elite skill team that will spread the field.
Kind of a big picture question. Where do you feel like you are after 6 games, good and bad, and kind of what do you want to see?
Cool.
Develop in 6?
So there's a wide spectrum. There's good, bad, and ugly. We literally do that when we come in on Sundays and Mondays. We're very honest with our players. We're very honest with ourselves. I think we all see the good in 2 seniors and youth, and that's it comes off as a crutch. I'm saying that as a crutch. I think you see, to the point of Demetrius Knight and Jaquez Jackson, you see improvement with the guys from week to week. With the 1-0 mentality, you've seen the growth through the course of the season, and then obviously we're very myopic in the way that we think, but you see promise for the future. We lacked experience coming into the season. We are gaining experience every game, every moment, every practice. New scenarios are happening in games. They're learning from those experiences. We want it to manifest itself in a scoreboard so badly, and we will continue to fight to that end. So that would be the biggest piece. And then in the last 2 weeks, when the scoreboard has not been in our favor and it has extended, specifically this past week, I think you've seen the resiliency of a culture. That's broad, that's abstract, that's not a direct answer. We went, let's call it what it is, we went down into the halftime, it was 38-14. There were people hurting, I was hurting, and we had to continue to fight. You had an option, you had a choice as to how you were going to handle yourself as you went out in the second half. And relative to the scenario, we held them to 3 points. If you have a bad culture, if you have kids that quit on you, that quit on themselves, that quit on each other, that would not happen. It would have been even worse in that situation in a very tough scenario. So those are the things that you have to build on and be positive. We have had moments. We have had scenarios where we've got momentum on defense, and we've played well at times. We've played well in stretches. We have to have composure over the course of the game and carry that on as we continue to go.
Coach Thacker, how in today's game can you teach your defenders to play hard and play fast and not occasionally, if accidentally, commit a targeting foul? How do you teach that?
Don't set me up for failure with that answer. So David Curry had a targeting penalty. We actually teach a type of tackling. In that moment, it's whoever's opinion as to whether that was a targeting or not. It was not the type of tackling. It was not the technique that we taught. So we were able to use that as an example. David Curry, who was one of our hardest workers, our highest character kids, who had a ton of production this season, one of our best players. He didn't use the correct technique in that, and it cost him and it cost us as a team. We lose one of our best players early in the second quarter, and that affects us as a defense as the rope was let loose in that second quarter. So we go through it. It was a body position thing. We're a near foot, near shoulder leverage tackling team, and in that moment, he decided to use his shoulder as the force in that play, and then you leave it into the hands of the referee for them to make a decision in that moment. So it is a technique that can be taught, and we can learn from that experience, and obviously how costly the lack of technique was for him individually and then for us as a team.
So in terms of, I guess, the defense in the first half and trying to start faster, is it a situation where maybe you have to roll the dice more and be a little more aggressive to build confidence, or maybe change things up a little bit just to try and generate something there? 'Cause
Sure.
It seems like you need a momentum play on
Sure.
defense in the first half, and that
Sure.
hasn't happened.
That has been a philosophy. We have been aggressive. On North Carolina, using an example 2 weeks ago, we were very good on first and second down. We were getting them in negative situations. Had an opportunity to speak to you guys the previous week, and we were poor on third down. Those were extending drives. This week we were better on third downs, and we talked a lot about this is not I've got to get better in every single phase in the way that I coach and the way that I call, but we had some tough circumstances with some shorter fields, and then they were winning the one-on-one battles when they took their shots. So to your point, Kelly, we're trying to be aggressive in those moments, and we put a lot of stress on the perimeter, on the secondary, when they have now the offense has the opportunity to go up and throw 50-50 balls. We had been winning those, and then early in that in the first quarter, and then in the second quarter, we did not win those. and one explosive led to a short field at that point, of already shortened field, and we were poor in the red zone. So the biggest piece, again, on the constructive criticism piece, once they get to the red zone, continue to play and find ways to win there. The other thing offenses are doing a great job of, you're winning on third down and then they're going for it on fourth down, and we have not been successful on fourth down. It's very tough. It's college football today. When you watch an NFL game, it happens very rarely. But we were 3 for 3 to the negative on fourth down. You get a third down stop, you think you're getting ready to get off the field, they've got to punt or kick it, and then they're getting fourth down conversions in those moments to put even more stress on you and extend your drive. Did I answer your question, Kelly? I apologize. Yeah.
Zamari has gotten increased reps as the season has gone along. How has he adjusted to that increased playing time?
For me personally, he's one of the biggest surprises, pleasant surprises for our defense. Again, we have a very 1-0 mentality, but when you talk about somebody improving as a redshirt freshman every single week, you talk about how bright a future is for that young man, and he has earned it. He was someone that we didn't know when we first walked in. Questioned where his mentality would be, his toughness, how he would handle himself off the field, and I couldn't be more pleased with his work ethic. And he has played a bunch of downs where it has been him and a ACC wide receiver in a one-on-one situation, and he has been exposed very, very, very seldomly and has held up well, most of the time opposite Trace Willing. He has been one of our best attitude kids. This week he came in and tried to find a way to expand his role on special teams because, like so many of us, he wants to find any way possible to help this team win a football game. Some of our graduate assistants who were here late on a Wednesday night caught him in the wide receiver room by himself, not looking for attention, not looking for anyone to find him, at 11 p.m. at night in the wide receiver room, looking at the call sheet that we had for that week, matching those calls up to the film by himself in a room, not looking for attention, not looking for someone to do that. So someone like that has elite preparation habits as a redshirt freshman has a very promising future, and it's showing on the field right now. So talent and preparation paying off for a young man.
Going back to the 4th and 1 scenarios, when you look at that, you don't have to give me like a direct answer. You can
Sure.
talk in generalizations, but in those situations, what is the key when it is a packed box like that?
Someone has to be disruptive and make a play. That's what it is. We're being very aggressive in those moments, per the scheme, per the structure. We have not gotten hit. 4th and 1 hasn't hit for 80, hasn't hit for 60, hasn't hit for 50. That has not happened to us. 4th and 1 has fallen for 1.5 yards and 2 yards. So at some point, we have to get a win. Someone has to do their job, be in a gap, and then get off and make a play. It's without being play specific, that's been the case. So again, most of the time, as a play caller, it's 4th and 1 and you're backed up on the -40. You're actually scared as to how aggressive you should be. You want to be aggressive and get the stop, but you don't want to be so aggressive that if your one gap gets displaced, then it goes for a big game for a touchdown. So you want to be smart about it. We've been very aggressive. Those things have not popped. We just haven't created the negative play in those situations. Has not been one person, has not been one scheme. We've got to put a big emphasis on making sure we keep ourselves accountable as coaches, but one of our big messages is playmakers making plays this week. Do your job, and then when it comes to you, make a play, make a big-time play, and we need that to happen more often.